Lawag.
Hello, hold on one second. Can you hear me? Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me. Hello, everyone. We are getting ready to start our Value of the College coaching program. So we're going to give people just another minute or two. If you've had an afternoon, then you will know that there is a lot that we are all trying to fit into a day. And so is why I'm a minute or so late trying to get back from Taekwondo with my kids, get them fed, and get down here just in time to join all of you. So for any of my busy parents, caretakers, people in general out there, we want to make sure that you have a minute or two to get on. So while we are waiting for folks to join us, I'm going to make sure I have the right presentation over here. Looks like I do, which is great. Okay. Okay. That was my deep cleansing breath. I am ready to go. So hello and good evening to everyone. My name is Megan Penley Pickett. I am with the Heartland Institute of Financial Education's college coaching program, and I am here for the first of 2 monthly programs that are focusing on the value of the college coaching program. We are recording this. So for anyone who is in a financial center and wants to share this with colleagues, anyone who is has prospective clients, or you're a current client and are looking to share this with other folks, this will be made available. You can email me. You'll see my email, on the last slide of this presentation. So you'll be able to email me for that. So without further ado, I don't know where you all are in the country, but out here in Colorado, it is getting ready to snow again, because why not in May? So the temperature is dropping rapidly. It's so cold in my house when I got back. So you know how your fingers get they hurt when you hit the keyboard? That's where my fingers are at now. So trying to warm them up. Okay, here we go. We are going to start our presentation. You probably want me to share my screen so you can see it. Hopefully we have chosen the right one. Yes, we did. All right. Okay, so this is where we're at, value of the college coaching program. So just a little bit about who we are. We are the Heartland Institute of Financial Education, HIFA, for those of you who are not familiar with us. We are a national 501c3 U.S. nonprofit organization. We're committed to providing high quality financial education. And we believe that financial literacy is critical in the college planning process for both students and their families. We're using families as a broad term. It could be aunts, uncles, parents, really nice neighbors, family, friends, whoever it might be, right? And our college coaching program's mission is to successfully guide students and families through the complex college preparation, selection, and funding process. We provide a college planning coach to work directly with families to establish an action plan that's personally developed for each student, focusing on academic planning, financial aid navigation, career guidance, and college selection and application. And then how do we deliver this phenomenal program? It is a fully online program. Our services are delivered primarily via email, with some online meetings and phone calls. This slide has our contact information. You're also going to see that on the last slide as well. So what we're going to do tonight is, and I just updated some of these slides, so some of it might be like, oh, right, I put that there. I just did it this afternoon. We're going to walk through the 4 most common challenges that are facing people who are planning for college right now, who are in that process, whether you are in 8th grade, whether you are in 12th grade, anywhere in between, or if you are currently in college, or you have stopped out of college and are trying to figure out what to do. There's a lot of numbers up on this screen, and I'm not going to read them all to you, but what I want to point out is, surprisingly, the cost of college is going up, not down. And I know that that sounds silly, but sometimes people are like, oh, well, when I went to college, so when I went to college to an in-state public institution, it cost me about $9,000 to $10,000 a year. The average cost of that same in-state public institution is on average with this over $23,000 per year. And obviously you can see how that's broken down with tuition. So when you're looking at it, this is what we call the net cost. So when you're looking at the cost of college, or you're talking with prospective families, or you are a prospective family that is looking at how much is it going to cost, you want to start factoring in what is that total cost. So tuition, room and board if you're on campus, books and fees, any other fees, transportation, food, those types of things. Obviously, if you're out of state or looking at public institutions, you're looking anywhere between 40 and 50, probably $52,000. This is based on this current academic year, and I'm sure it's not going to go down in the coming academic year. Our students are graduating with an average of $32,000, almost $33,000 in debt. And the real cost of college and university really comes in that it takes students in the US an average time of 5.5 years to graduate with a bachelor's degree. This was what we used to call a 4-year degree, right? And so with that taking an extra 5.5 years or an additional 5, however we want to look at it. And there's lots of reasons why that can be the case, why it can take an additional 1.5 years, why it will take 5.5 years versus our sort of old school mindset of 4 years. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's actually the other 3 factors that are facing our college planners right now. But when you factor in that additional 1.5 years full cost of college, you're looking at almost $35,000 again, based on that in-state public tuition, with an average lost wages for 1.5 years of $77,000, with the total cost of almost $112,000 for that additional 1.5 years, plus any debt that you're taking on in the form of loans or scholarships or things like that you may have to pay back. Typically scholarships you don't, but loans or any additional housing costs without having that income coming in. And so when you really think about it like that, in addition to what it's going to cost for a bachelor's degree, if we're not planning correctly, right? If we're making choices from panic and not preparation, then we're adding that additional 1.5 years. So when you think about all of that money, the real question comes down is, how much is planning worth to you? You can have one. Excuse me, everyone. Yes. There you go. No, just hand it to me. Just hand it to me. There you go. All right. I figure I am on with some other parents who understand my pain, right? My husband is at work. My kids need to eat, but they can't open their special drinks that they get for being Ave. So thank you for working with me on that. But now I have orange mango, whatever that was, all over my desk. So one of the key factors that comes into when we are planning for college and we're thinking about the rising costs, when we're thinking about that additional time, is thinking about the different types of financial aid. Often when people are thinking of financial aid, they're only thinking of one of these boxes. And so it's our role at the Heartland Institute of Financial Education in our college coaching program is to work through with others, with our clients, with our families, with our students, that there are these different 5 buckets or boxes of different types of financial aid. So you have your federal aid, which is your FAFSA. You have your state aid, which is not available in all states, but it is available in some. Your private scholarships and grants, school-specific aid, which is going to come directly from the colleges or universities that you are accepted to, and then loans. So to put together a plan for the next 1, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on where you are in the planning process, it's really important to know and identify what these pieces are. How do you maximize your options as early on as possible? So when you get to the point where you are looking at those financial aid awards from the colleges or universities, you have a really good understanding of what that package looks like for you, so you can make the best decisions at the back end. But on the front end, again, regardless of whether you're going into your senior year, you're already in college, or you're an eighth grader that's going into high school or anywhere in between, you want to really know how to maximize your opportunities so you can find the best option that fits for you, so that rising cost of college is not a barrier for you when you make your decision on where to go. The next challenge that really faces our students, our college planning students and families, is choosing a career. We often ask students, what are you going to major in? Which is, spoiler alert, the next slide. But if we are choosing a major without understanding how that really connects to or feeds into a career, either a specific job or a career field, then we're just sort of throwing that spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? And so a lot of students don't even know where to start when it comes to a career. And so that is where our program comes in. The average caseload of a high school guidance counselor is 455 students. Now, that may not be the case in your particular high school, but again, that is the average in our public high schools across the US and in some of our private high schools as well. These counselors are working tirelessly. This is not about what a not great job that they're doing. Please don't misunderstand me. My point is they are overwhelmed with simply their caseload and helping students to graduate and meet those minimum requirements. So having longer conversations or more in-depth conversations around what a student really wants to do and what tools may be available, that may not be an option for that counselor or for that student. And that's where our program can come in. That's where we can supplement what is already happening in the high schools. Our program has an average ratio of 60-1. So for every one coach that we have, they have on average 60 students on their roster. It's going to change a little bit, but that is based then on the capacity of the coach. And so students, we really want students to start thinking about what type of career they are interested in. Will that career be there when they graduate? Because it's really important for that to be relevant, right? And so thinking through what post-high school option is best, college or university, a trade or vocational training. There's a significant need in the US for skilled vocational trained employees. And so looking at that as a potential option. What does a gap year look like, especially right now in the midst of the pandemic? We don't know what that's going to look like. So how do we take that intentional time to either get more maturity or get additional experience, so when we go to college, we have that under our belt? And even potentially looking at the military, either straight into the military or looking at the military academies that are out there. Now, we are not pushing any one of these. Obviously, we're a college coaching program, or a college coaching program. I emphasized the wrong word there. But really also helping students with this ever-changing landscape that is out there right now, thanks to COVID, thanks to sort of the changing job market that was happening even pre-COVID. Really want to help students figure out what they want to do next that is going to fit their options best, so they are not throwing away money and they're not throwing away time. Same for parents, right? We want, or family members that are supporting students, we want to make sure that you're a good steward of your money and of the student's time. And so really we start working with students. Every student who joins the program, it goes and takes these assessments that we have that offer up some discussion points, offer up some options, some research points on what types of careers they would be most interested in. And so they have those conversations with their coach and they start working through that, so they can start researching those options, finding out what fits for them, finding out what doesn't fit for them, and then going down that path as well. I told you, spoiler alert, right? The next challenge that we have is choosing a major. In the same way of choosing a career is going to help you choose a major is then also going to help you choose a college, which will be the next slide that comes up after this. So you want to make sure that students have an idea, or students want to make sure that they have an idea of what they're focusing on, so it doesn't feel so sporadic, that they know that yes, they're taking their general education, but that they are also taking maybe these specific classes for their major or minor that is going to put them in the right department to get those internships, to get those job opportunities that is going to allow them to be placed into the work field and or be prepared for what their their future degrees, if they're going to have additional degrees and those types of things. And so you want to, how, students, we would ask them, how do you know if you're reaching your goals if you don't know what your goals are, right? And so we want to make sure that the students who are in our program have a really clear idea of the major that they're going to choose, if they're allowed to declare that at the beginning. Sometimes you don't declare until you're a sophomore. Sometimes you don't declare until second term or something along those lines. But 20 to 50% of students that are not in our program are starting college undecided, with 75% of them changing their major at least once, with an average students changing their major an average of 3 times. Now, there's smart ways to do this and there's less smart ways to do this. And I think college students are some of our best and brightest people on the planet. I have also worked with them for close to 20 years. They don't always have a long-term vision of what's going to be happening, right? And so really thinking about, oh, I'll just switch this major, I'll switch to this major, I'll switch to this major. Whew, you can get sort of whiplash when you start doing that. And your credit card and your credits on your transcript can also get whiplash from doing that. So you want to make sure, if you are changing majors, that you're doing that correctly. And that's where our coach comes in. We would hope that you're not changing majors, that you've done that hands-on research, that you have talked with the department heads at the colleges and universities that you're interested in, that you have a really good understanding of what is available in that field. So then you can just go on the path that you have set out before you. Because although money isn't everything, it is not nothing, folks, right? And that is what we are here to talk about, because time is money. And when you start switching majors and or switching colleges, which we'll talk about next, it really does turn into additional time. And it can absolutely turn into additional money. So when you start in our program, when you start having these conversations early on, you are prepared and not panicked when it's time for you to make a decision on what is your major going to be. And last but not least, the fourth major concern that is facing our college planning folks, whether you're students or families or support people, is that college selection. How do I even choose, right? My friends went there. It's a party school, which may be a draw. It may keep us away, right? It's close to home. It's really far from home. My parents went there. Whatever it might be, these are not always the most sound ways, the most tried and true ways to choose a college. And so, really working with students on, what are you looking for? What's even out there? There's over 3,000 colleges and universities in the US alone. They are public and private and big and small and middle and rural and in the city and all of the things. There's so many more options than that, right? So the more that we can start having those conversations with students early on, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, it's never too late and it's never too early to enroll in this program. When you start having those conversations early on, students aren't like, oh, I'll just do this because I feel like I have to make a decision now, right? You can start doing the research on, what does it take to get accepted into that school? What's the average GPA, average entrance exams? Do they even require entrance exams? Do they have your major that is there, right? And so when we start talking about college selection, we talk about 3 major areas: fit, focus, and finance. So fit is that size, location, single sex institution, is it religiously based? All of those types of things that make a difference. Focus is, do they have your major? If they don't have your major, then it's probably not a great idea for you to go to school there. And then finances, right? So we talked about that early on. So you want to have all 3 of those pieces of information play into or be contributing factors in your college selection. Students aren't really sure, how many schools do I apply to? Do I apply to 1? Do I apply to 20? There's costs associated with that. So our program, our coaches really help students narrow down the types of schools that they would, the students drive this, don't get me wrong, but our coaches really guide them on these conversations of what is going to be a good fit, so you graduate and you're not one of these 25% of undergraduate students transferring schools. Because if you think changing your major costs extra time and money, I guarantee that switching schools and transferring schools is going to cost a lot of extra time and money. So those are the 4 major areas that our program really focuses on. So to break it down and to pull it into one slide for you, here are our college planning pain points, right? And on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the challenges that we just walked through that are facing students and families: rising cost of college, choosing a major, choosing a career, deciding on a major, and college selection. And over on the other hand side of that are the solutions that our college coaching program offers: financial aid navigations, all 5 of those boxes that we've talked briefly about, the assessments, the career guidance and assessments with hands-on advising, really talking to students of how do you get out there, how do you get that hands-on experience? Is it shadowing? Is it getting internships, jobs, those types of things, to really see if that's a career that you want to be a part of. Academic planning, right? So you want to start maximizing your options as early on in high school as possible when it comes to your academics. One, to find out where do you shine? What subjects do you really do well in and enjoy? And you want to start taking those classes that are going to allow you to have some major options. So when it comes to college selection, you've maximized your options in high school, and then you will work with your college planning coach on the selection process, as well as what does it look like, that application process, right? So that's where that guidance piece comes in. So here are some of the benefits. I think I'm going to have to ask my kids to be quiet. It's just that kind of day, people. It's the Mondayest of Mondays. But here are some of the benefits of our program. Like I said, it's an individualized attention with an average caseload. I believe I said 60 earlier. I apologize, and I will amend that to 65 to 1. Again, strategies to maximize those options in high school. We want students to have a well-rounded high school experience. Not only is it a richer experience, then you only get to go through high school one time, right, as a high school student, but it also helps you become an outstanding admissions candidate. I will never say to you, you should do this because it looks good on a resume. That is just not my philosophy, nor is it the philosophy of our coaching program. But it is important to think about, what are things that I'm interested in? Where do I want to get more experience? Do I want to get a deeper dive into a subject area or a topical area? Or do I want to just sort of see what's out there and then have all of these different experiences to draw on? Again, that hands-on career-focused research, financial aid navigation, tailored college searches, and essay reviews. We have unlimited essay reviews for both scholarship and academic. I'm sorry, I'm reading the next slide. For scholarship and college or university applications, we have unlimited essay reviews for that. Here's a question that I get asked quite often. And so this is a new slide that I have just added in today. But you can see on here, people are often asking, well, when is the best time for my student to enroll? Should we enroll early? Should we enroll late? Again, it's never too early if you're 8th grade. And it's never too late. So I have up here, obviously you can read, but here are the focuses, the foci of our 8th through 10th grade, and then our focus for 11th through 12th grade. All of these are going to be under those 4 major focus points, right, of academic preparation, college selection, financial aid, and career guidance. So it's going to look different for an 8th grader to an 11th grader, because the 11th grader ages into job opportunities, right? They become of age and are able to get a job. They can drive to those jobs, those types of things. But there are ways to have those career focused conversations with our underclassmen. So it's underclassmen is 8th through 10th grade, upperclassmen is 11th through 12th. So obviously getting used to being in high school. What are your time management skills? How do you build those extracurricular activities, again, that are important to you and are going to help you become an outstanding candidate? Creating relationships with those teachers. So in 11th and 12th grade, when you ask them for letters of recommendation, you have a relationship with them. They're not like, which student are you again? What class was it? College prep. What to do on those breaks, all of that. So it's tailored to where the student is in that particular academic year. And so all of these are going to be relevant, and they all build on one another, especially for our underclassmen. We shift over to our upperclassmen, and we're absolutely looking at our SAT or ACT prep If they have already taken those tests, they can be evaluated by our coaches. And what I mean by that is they will have the conversation with the coach to say, here is my score on my SAT or ACT test. Here are the schools that are on my list. How does it match up? Do I need to retake? What would you suggest on any tutoring, paid programs, free programs, those types of things? Again, breaks, hands-on experience, those application materials, really getting those prepared, having those reviewed by the coach, getting our professional essay reviewers on our essay review team to provide information on feedback on the essays, those types of things. Review of financial aid packages. So once students have been given their financial aid packages from the college or universities, to really evaluate those from the various universities, right? And so to really decide which is the best option for me, those final decisions, and then that transition to college. So all of these get personalized to that student based on where they're at, what they're interested in, the questions that they have, how they're performing academically, all of these pieces. But these are the overviews of what can be expected out of the underclassmen focus as well as the upperclassmen focus. Here are some of the program results that we saw in the 2019-2020 academic year. We're in the process of collecting our information for this current academic year. So that slide will be updated, hopefully June, if not then July. But you can see our students are graduating in an college in an average of 4 years with lots and lots of scholarship dollars that were given, over $350,000 in reevaluation letters. So that's going back to the schools and saying, hey, I'm really interested in this school, but is there any more money, right? And so our students were awarded that. Over 2,000 essay reviews, and our underclassmen students were accepted into elite summer camps and internships. Now that's really important because oftentimes, especially when students and families are deciding, is it too early for me to get involved in this program? If it's a coaching program for college, shouldn't I just come in at the end of my junior, start of my senior year? Absolutely an option. What I really want to point out is that students who start in the program earlier really benefit from the guidance from their coaches on how to maximize their options in high school, both academically as well as extracurricularly. Pretty proud that I could say that word, but also how to use those breaks. Are there internship programs? Are there researchship? I just was so proud of myself saying that other word, right? And I say researchship. But are there summer programs that you can go away for? Are there things in your area where, again, you can get that deep dive into something that you're interested in? And so really talking about the importance of that, how to get into those programs, utilizing our essay reviewers for those applications, all of that. These were just some of the over 262 different colleges or universities that our students were accepted into in the 2019-2020 academic year, with lots of others being on there as well. So who delivers this program? It is our coaches, and our coaches have all been on our coaching staff for 5 years or more. So they all are fully well trained in this. They are fully vetted. They're educators with 20+ years in the workforce. None of them are better than the others. Well, Megan, how do you decide who gets assigned to my student? Well, it's a little bit based on, it's really two main factors, right? It's based on the information that's provided in the enrollment packet. There's an area for you to add in for your student or for your client student, what they have academically done, what are their future goals, those types of things. If there are any preferences in style of coach, that type of thing. And then I also look at what availability do our coaches have on their roster? Because again, we want to make sure that they are able to provide that one-on-one focused attention, for personalized attention for the student. So that's how I do that. I've been doing this for a while. I started as a coach with the program. I've been in the dean position for about 1.5 years, coming up on 2 years. And so I've had a lot of experience in matching students with with coaches. But Megan, can we change coaches if we need to? Here's what I will tell you. That is very rarely a concern. It's very rarely a request. When it is a request, you get to have a conversation with me. We figure out what's going on there. Are there ways to mitigate that? And then we figure out next best steps. So I can't say absolutely yes, and I certainly wouldn't say absolutely no. So I am the center of that, certainly not the most important person, but I, as the dean, am the person that you work with both on the assignment and then if we need anything to be changed. So now you want to know, what are our options? And we have a couple of different options. And for those of you who have been a part of these programs in the past, I tried a little bit again today when I was updating this to break this out to see if it makes any more sense. So I'm seeing some familiar names that are on here. Let me know if this makes a little bit more sense than the previous slide that we used. We have two different options for our program. We have our comprehensive program, which is what you are looking at right here on your screen. And this is a 12-month program, so it's for a full year based on your date of enrollment. So you have your own personalized year date, right? So you don't have to worry about getting in at the right time or anything like that. There is a renewal that is available for a much lower cost. After you've been in this program for a year. You have the same coach throughout the program. If you choose to renew for a second, third, fourth, or fifth year, you will get assigned that same coach as well. The current cost for this comprehensive program is $26.95. I will talk about a discount that we have going on in a couple of slides when we get to the end. Some of the benefits of our comprehensive 12-month program is unlimited email access to your college planning coach, access to special trainings and webinars, those monthly recommendations that are sent out that are tailored to the student's grade and time of year, things to think about, right, that are going on for juniors or seniors or eighth graders, whatever it might be. And then again, focus on those 4 major concentration areas, but tailored to that student's where they're at in academically, where they are at grade-wise, what they've aged into. So again, academic planning, financial aid guidance, career guidance, and college selection and application. So all of those pieces, those 4 major concentration areas, again, whether you're an 8th grade or up to 12th grade, that's the basis of our program. And so it's going to be tailored to your year. We're going to start those conversations as early as possible, so students and families are prepared and not panicked when it comes to the time of applying for school, making those decisions, and figuring out how to pay for it. So this is our comprehensive program. We also offer individual options within our college coaching program. So these are all one-off programs. All of these boxes are separate individual options that people can purchase. These are typically going to be reserved for 11th and 12th graders outside of this career assessment and guidance. This career assessment and guidance is available to all students at any age. So these all have very specific foci, but they're all specifically focused on a specific area. And so you have these for a short amount of time. Obviously, it costs a little bit less, and you can combine them. So what I did here was just sort of break down. We have some apples and oranges here, right, for folks. So you can see on one side is our comprehensive program, and here are our individual options. And so we walked through the comprehensive program. I want to point out a couple of things for our individual options. With each of them, you have 4 30-minute sessions total with each of those options. So it's not unlimited. It is not for a full 12 months. It is delivered over 8 weeks, so 2 months from the time of enrollment. It could be a shorter amount of time, but it's certainly not going to go longer than that. It is topic focused based on that particular area, right? So if you choose financial aid navigation, that is what you are going to work on with your coach. You're not going to talk about financial aid navigation and the application process and essay reviews and those types of things. You're going to focus on that specific topic. It is not renewable, although you do have the option to be able to purchase an additional option if you want more time on that specific topic. There is the ability to purchase multiple options, but payment plans are not available where payment plans are available for our comprehensive program. So If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to get into that. Hopefully that is a little clearer than what we have talked about in the past. So we want to provide options for our consultants, for our students and families. I just want to be very clear about what you get with the different options. So you have your 12-month comprehensive program, talks about all of those 4 major focus areas in varying different ways with monthly recommendations, personalized conversations and emails and all of those things. With the individual options, you're going to focus on one of those 4 major concentration areas, and you're going to do a deep dive into that for a very short amount of time. So some of those may be appealing to you, or one may be more appealing than the other. So what are your next steps? Your next steps is to enroll, obviously, right, to be a part of this program. If you are here at the invite of a college planning consultant, you can work with them for this enrollment process, either in the comprehensive program or in the individual options. Or if you are here because you found out about our webinar and are not here through a consultant, you can follow up with me. My contact information is going to be on the next screen, and we can enroll you directly through the Heartland Institute. Again, payment options are available for our comprehensive program. That discount that I wanted to tell you all about, there is a discount. So our comprehensive program is currently $26.95. And if you pay in full, you get a discount of $200, which brings that total price down to $24.95. So that's only available on the full pay, and that is going to be available through the end of the second quarter, which is June 30th. So that is coming up faster than I would have thought it was. And you can begin working with the coach in less than 5 days. So we can get started pretty quickly on this if you are like, this is what I want to do. Also, if you have some specific questions, we're going to get to Q&A in just a moment. But if you have some specific questions and would like to schedule a call with me, either individually or for a group, we can talk about what that will look like next. So that is the end of my speed talking, because I want to make sure that we get to your great questions that you have and clarification. Couple of emails that are up here on the screen. This is our general program email, hypecpp@hype-usa.org. That is monitored by a couple of our staff members, so we make sure that it gets routed to the right person. If you would like to contact me directly, I am happy to take your email. You can contact me at megan.pickett@hype-usa.org. All of these options are laid out for you at www.collegecoaching.org. And we would love if you liked us on Facebook. So Hype College Coaching Program on Facebook is a great place to get updates and, just lots of information. We're posting constantly up there, and you can give us a call. So I am going to stop sharing. And it looks, so this would be the time for me to take a drink of water. And if you have questions, feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. We do have an answer for international students. Right now, our international program, we are not running our international program. We're having some coach changes, and so we are not in a space where we can support international students right now. And so I am not in the business of promoting programs that we can't support. Not only is it unfair to you as consultants, it's certainly unfair to those students. So right now, thank you for asking that. We currently do not have an active international student program. You're welcome. What other questions or clarifications can I offer for folks? Again, feel free to unmute yourself or you can pop that in the chat and I will read it out for everyone. Megan, you did such a good job of explaining everything. We don't have any questions. Hopefully, maybe I can get a thumbs up or something like that. I know that there are folks who have been on this program or various ones like this in the past. Was that explanation of the comprehensive versus the individual options more confusing, less confusing, up, down? Where are we with that? We have a hand up. Nandini, go. Oh, we got a thumbs up from her. That is great. Go ahead. Maybe you were giving me the thumbs up on that, but you can also unmute yourself if you had something that you wanted to share. So feel free either way. Will there be any orientation on how to fill out applications? So there's a little bit of training that goes into, it's on your consultant portal. And if you ever have any questions, it's pretty self-explanatory on how to fill that out. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and shoot me an email, and we can walk through what that looks like for you. Other questions, concerns? Yeah.
Not a question, but just well, it is a question. you mentioned something about you are going to have this recording available. Will you be able? Do we have to put our email on there for you to send it out, or?
If you'll email me directly,
Okay.
that would be great, and then I will also try to remember to work with our staff member who converts it and get it up onto the consultant portal in the next couple of days.
Okay, wonderful.
See it on the portal, shoot me an email, and I will be sure to get it out to you.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anything else that we have going on? All right, I'm going to start my wrap up. Oh, I have one thing I want to share with people. This presentation that is it's primarily supposed to be client facing, right? We do this twice a month. So on the second Monday, which is today, and then we also do it on the fourth Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, which puts it at 7 p.m. Pacific. So we do that, and all of that information is on the consultant portal. Any information on, I see there's a question about FAFSA. If you are a consultant, you can ask me about that at a later time. FAFSAs are not available until October 1st of students' senior years. And so Heartland does a lot of information and training on that for students and families and things like that in the fall. The last thing that I wanted to talk about specifically, if we have any current families on, and if not, you can certainly share this as consultants with your families. We are going to be rolling out a new referral program. And the simplest way to talk about this is that it's a referral from family to family. So you as a consultant don't have to do anything. But if it is a family who enrolls in the program, they're really pleased with it and they share it with another family who enrolls in the program, they receive a $100 check, basically a referral fee paid back specifically to that family. And so we're really excited about that. We're just rolling that out starting this week. Nima, do you have another question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Okay. What you mentioned something about if you do the comprehensive program, there will be a breakdown of the payments, but you didn't break it down how, what is installments or what is available with that.
Right. So we have 3 payment options. One, you can pay in full, always a great option. 2, it is, you can pay, I believe it's $999 down, and then you pay 2 or 3 other installments. It's listed on the enrollment form, so that's all there. And then the third option is to pay $285 for 10 months if you wanted to pay monthly. So that's how the options break down for the comprehensive program.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. So if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to take those now. If not, then I will give you back just a few extra minutes of your night. And for those of you who have been on with these with me before, you always hear me say, I won't tell if you don't tell, right? So you can sit in whatever quiet place you're in and say, oh no, I'm on a meeting, and you get 15 minutes where you don't have to engage with anybody, right? And so if you have any questions on this presentation or anything like that, especially if you're a consultant, if you're a prospective family, please reach out to me. Again, I'm going to put my email. Whoops, I can't type and talk at the same time, apparently. Megan.pickett@hype-usa.org. Please feel free to reach out to me for any questions on the program. If I don't have an answer, I'll make one up. Or I will obviously get you the right information that you are looking for. So thank you all so very much for joining me. Like I said, I don't know what's happening in your neck of the woods, but here in Colorado, it has been raining, which is very strange for us. And we are getting ready for yet another overnight snow. So it's kind of a bummer. So I hope you are safe and healthy and warm, or cool, I guess, depending on where you are. But thank you for spending your afternoon and evening with me. I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.